Welcome to the Investing in Residential Real Estate presentation. This presentation is presented to you by Ed Colos and Marian Gabriel, your community's real estate sales representatives. Agenda 1. The 3 ways to invest in residential real estate. 2. Estimating both the expenses and the return of investment. 3. Comparing different scenarios for investing. Investment opportunities in residential real estate. 1. International rental properties. 2. Pre-construction condominiums. 3. Local rental properties. 1. International rental properties. Florida. We can help you to buy a rental property in Florida, and we'll arrange a property management company to lease the property for you. We will discuss this option in details in other seminars. 2. Pre-construction condos. We can help you to buy a condo unit in a project before construction starts. Normally it takes 2 to 3 years for the project to finish. During that time the price of similar units will appreciate. When you get your unit, you can either sell it or rent it out. We will also discuss this option in greater details in other seminars. 3. Local rental properties. The balance. Sound investments should have a balance between the money invested and the expected return of investment. To properly evaluate your investment choices, you need to carefully study both expenses and the expected return of investment during a long period of time, let us say 5 years. Let us start with expenses. There are 3 types of expenses. The first type of expenses is the recurring monthly expenses like mortgage, property taxes and condominium fees. The second type is the one-time expenses, like land transfer tax and legal fees. The third type of expenses is the variable expenses, which can only be estimated based on assumptions like repairs, how many months the unit may be vacant between tenants, and whether you will need to pay real estate fees to rent it out or not. Now let us discuss the returns. The first source of return is the appreciation of the property's value. Since the last recession in the late 80s, prices of real estate are steadily going up except for a short pause in late 2008 and early 2009. The second source of return is the portion of the monthly mortgage that goes toward the mortgage principal. As you can see in the table to the right, a portion of the monthly mortgage payment goes towards the interest and the rest goes towards the principal. The amount that goes towards the principal in 5 years contributes in your return of investment. For example, if you pay a total of $26,000 in 2 years, about $14,000 goes towards the principal and $12,000 goes towards the interest. The research. To be able to help you to take informative decisions, we have thoroughly researched the condo market since 2008. As a result of this study, we are able to determine both the average appreciation rate for each building, and also the current rent for the different sizes and styles of condo apartments in each building. This will help us to calculate the expected return of investment for the currently available condo units in the market. Let us look at this case study. This is how a listing looks like. It has lots of information about both the building and the unit. We will now zoom in to point out the information we need to evaluate the investment opportunity. To comply with the Privacy Act, we have blocked the address and other identifying information of this condo unit. The first piece of information we need to pay attention to is the asking price. This is the price the owner hopes to get, but not necessarily the selling price. The second number is the annual property tax, followed by the tax year. Here we can locate the monthly condominium fees, sometimes referred to as the maintenance fees. This section of the listing lists the utilities included in the monthly condo fees. In this example, water, heat, hydro and air conditioning are included. Only cable TV is not included. Utilities don't directly affect the return of investment calculations, as utilities are paid by the tenant, but the more utilities are included in the maintenance fees, the more popular and easier to rent your condo becomes. the building's age, and the unit's square footage are optional fields. They are left blank if that information is not available. Again, they don't directly affect the return of investment, but they do affect the popularity of the unit. In brief, these three numbers are the basis of our calculations, as they are the monthly recurring expenses. Now we will start our financial calculations by entering these factual information that we have obtained from the units listing on the MLS system. To calculate the selling price, we will assume that this property will sell at 98% of the asking price, which means that the selling price will be $244,020. We recommend that you pay at least 25% of the selling price as a down payment to avoid paying for mortgage insurance. Based on our research, this unit should rent for $1,275 every month. Although the down payment required is only $61,000, you will need to pay $87,300 if you want the total monthly expenses to equal the monthly rent collected. For realistic estimation of the expenses, we will assume that the unit will be either vacant for 4 months during the 5 years, or you pay real estate fees 4 times to keep the unit rented. This assumption will amount to $5,100. Also, we will assume a sum of $3,000 of repairs and maintenance during the 5 years period. These two expenses are only estimations, as these types of expenses are variable. You may get a tenant that will stay for 2 or 3 years, so you will only pay 1 month of real estate fees. Now let us consider the one-time expenses. They consist of land transfer tax and the closing legal fees. In this scenario, the total investment in 5 years will amount to $99,000. Now let us calculate the expected returns. Assuming an annual appreciation rate of 3%, the value of this property is expected to increase by $38,866 in 5 years. Based on a mortgage interest rate of 3%, in 5 years a total of $22,818 will be applied towards the mortgage principal. That means that your investment will earn a total of $61,684 in 5 years. Based on these numbers, we can conclude that the return of investing in this particular unit in 5 years equals 62%, or 12% annually. Let us try a different scenario for the same property. In this new scenario, we will assume that we will only pay the required 25% down payment, which is $61,000. This means that the monthly expenses are almost $124 more than the monthly rent. This will amount to a total of $6,943 additional expenses during the 5 years. Since in this scenario, you are paying much less down payment, the total expenses is now only $79,678, instead of $99,000, in the first scenario. Lowering the investment by almost $20,000 will increase the return of investment from 62% to 82%. By looking at the two scenarios side by side, you can see that it is a more financially sound decision to pay the minimum down payment required, as you will achieve a higher return of investment this way. Let us quickly look at a second case study. By applying the same principles on this unit, we get 80% return of investment, assuming a 3% annual appreciation rate. According to our research, this particular building has an average 6% annual appreciation rate. If we recalculate the return of investment for this particular unit based on a 5% appreciation rate instead of 3%, the return of investment jumps from 80% to 115%. The conclusion: even on a modest 3% annual appreciation rate, certain properties achieve as high as 97% return of investment. Disclaimer: we highly recommend that you seek professional financial, tax and legal advice before you start investing in real estate. Although we did our best to ensure the accuracy of these calculations, we recommend that you review all calculations and assumptions with your accountant or financial advisor. Summary: there are 3 ways to invest in residential real estate. 1. Pre-construction condos. 2. Rental condos. 3. International rental properties. Return of investment is calculated by dividing the projected income, during 5 years, over the money spent during the same period. In most cases, maximum return of investment is achieved by paying only the minimum down payment required. Not all areas or buildings provide the same return of investments. Call us today to help you choose the proper investment property for you. What are you waiting for? Act now. Contact Ed and Marion today. We will be glad to assist in finding the property that suits you. Thank you.